The stars are sparkling tonight in White House, Tennessee at May Flanders Field as we have stars for a first for 8-Man Extreme. It's the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference Middle School Championship game between the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons, number 2 seed in the conference, against the number 1 seed Christian Community Colts. And it's all presented by Kingdom.com in this week's Extreme Game of the Week. As we welcome you inside the broadcast booth, I'm Spencer Thompson. Pleasure to have you with us as soon as we switch the camera. Just a moment. I'm Spencer Thompson. Pleasure to have you with us in what's going to be an exciting middle school game for the evening. We're about a month away from the MTAC championship, a month and 8 days, and we cannot wait for the stretch to fully begin. It's going to be very special. Looking at this middle school championship, the storylines, you've really heard them. It's a very intense game all around. We're going to see some great action on all sides of the court, especially with not all sides of the court, all sides of the field. For Christian Community, there's a reason that they're undefeated, and that's because combined with all of their opponents, 14 points is the maximum score any opponent has gotten on them in a single game. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, no stats on hand for us to reference their points and such, but it's looking like they've got some decent players, including Kanan Holcomb, the younger brother of Daniel Holcomb. We'll see what kind of performance he is able to put up as a 8th grader. A lot of star power for both sides of the field, and it's going to be interesting, especially with a retired NFL player at the helm for the FCA Falcons. As I welcome in my broadcast partner, James Shannon. Welcome.
That's not much of a slide, but
no Collinsworth slide this time, but we're ready for every single bit of the action as he turns the camera. So this middle school championship, there are a lot of firsts for us this year. First a game in Alabama, now first middle school game. And as we said, Christian Community, only 14 points allowed by all of their teams combined in their 7-0 record. Are the Colts stoppable?
They are. Any football team stoppable. Don't ever let anybody tell you that no football team is stoppable. I mean, obviously, they've got a staunch defense. And when you get in the middle school ranks, it's hard. If you've got 2 or 3 guys who are real studs, most of the time, it's not like high school where everybody's kind of matured a little bit in terms of developing their speed and their strength. And so if you've got a couple of studs, sometimes everything can click right for you. But no football team is beatable. I mean, FCA right now, 4-2 on the season. And, of course, Christian Community unbeaten. But, you look at these guys and, the importance of this game, this is the future of both of these programs. You look at some of the more successful programs in high school, in MTAC and in Tennessee 8-man football right now, and it's guys who have a middle school program and a JV program. They get the guys in young, develop them, get them in their system. And so by the time they get up to high school, they're already rolling, they're bumping, they're going. And the coaches have a good relationship with them too, and that helps. But no team is beatable.
And for the Falcons, one of their 2 losses came from the Christian Community Colts. The Falcons, the amount of championships they've had as a school program entirely all across MTAC is one of the more unprecedented championship runs. Does that stop tonight? Do the Falcons have a reasonable chance when they lost 44-0 against the Colts?
I think so. I've seen several times where a team plays for the first time, and then the second time around it's a lot different. So we'll see tonight.
It's time for the in-stadium introductions. We will get that started in just a moment. The middle school championship is coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference Middle School Football Championship of 2019. On behalf of the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference and 8-Man Extreme, we thank you for attending at May Flanders Field at Christian Community School in White House, Tennessee, and tuning in on YouTube. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for a word of prayer from Corey Terrell, the PA announcer.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the day that you've given us, Lord. Thank you for the safe arrival from our friends at Pregame Classic. Lord, now we just ask that you be with each player, Lord. Keep him safe throughout the game, Lord. Keep him injury-free. Lord, we ask you to be with us as fans, Lord. Help us set the example for these young men playing this game tonight. Lord, we ask you to be with the officials, Lord. Give them wisdom and discernment to call this game. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
please remain standing to honor the United States of America with our national anthem. Heading to the center of the field now are the captains for tonight's match. Representing the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons, Nathan Ritchie and Daniel Francis.
Let's go, Mosley. Mosley.
Representing the Christian Community Colts, Dakota Belcher, Logan Duval, Miles Bernard, and Will Henkel. And now, referee Derek Brookshire. And the Colts will receive the opening kickoff. The 2019 MTAC Middle School Football Championship is coming up on 8-Man Extreme. As we said, a lot of firsts for MTAC, a lot of firsts for 8-Man Extreme. First middle school championship that MTAC has regulated, at least to my knowledge. But we've got a lot of good things to look forward to as we go to the first MTAC Middle School Championship, and the Falcons kick it off. It's a kickoff from Nathan Ritchie and heads back to the end zone.
We're going to get to see some talent tonight. Like we said in pregame, Christian Community 7-0, FCA 4-2. There's a lot of firepower here on the field tonight. There's a reason both these teams made it. Congratulations to every other team with an 8-man, with a middle school team. Congratulations to them. great seasons, but there's a reason these two are here, and we're excited to see it tonight.
And a big reason for the Colts to be put in the position they are is their head coach in Benjamin Pugh. What a resume that man has as the Colts have their first play in this middle school championship, and we have a handoff. Left side, it's Miles Bernard, the 8th grader, gets to the edge at about the 18-yard line for a gain of 2 yards on 2nd and 8. Benjamin Pugh has been in the MTAC championship or varsity since 2014. He's been in the championship where Franklin Christian lost to Lighthouse, won against, I believe it was Christian Community in 2015. The 2016 had a chance to get there, but lost in the semifinal to Sacred Heart. Right side, Cy Irvine gets to about the 26-yard line, and that'll move the chains.
Well, both these teams have a lot of history, not just in football. It's several sports they have a history. So, but tonight we're focusing on middle school football. This is where this is the next chapter of the rivalry, and so it's a huge one to both these schools. They're both putting everything on the line tonight.
On 1st and 10, handoff. It's right side, Logan Duval pushes through for 8 yards on heading to 2nd and 2, and Logan Duval, the 8th grader. A lot of 8th graders on this middle school team, and that's probably a big reason of why they're undefeated on their season.
Well, it's just like having a bunch of seniors on your team. It's that leadership. It's guys that have been in the system for a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3 years. And so it's them having the knowledge and knowing what to do whenever they get out on the football field, and that's huge. It's just as huge, like I said, as having a ton of seniors.
And a handoff left side, Cy Irving again. Irvine gets across midfield into Colts territory and to about the 37-yard line.
It will be a Mark Reed Insurance first down.
I forgot that they have 8-minute quarters in middle school instead of 12. 1st and 10 in Falcons territory. It's a pass attempt by Poulin. Right side, it gets the completion. That's to Will Hinkle, the 8th grader. Down to the 21-yard line as the clock continues to run.
Well, and a lot of what you're going to see, especially with these shorter quarters, middle school playing at 8 minutes, is you're going to see a lot of running the ball, a lot of trying to keep the clock rolling, keep it running. But, every once in a while, they'll dump off a short pass and just see, back and forth to kind of test the waters, see what this defense can do.
Just knocking outside of the red zone. Poulin tries to take it. Left side pass, incomplete. And a flag thrown on the left sideline, and we'll get our first penalty of the game.
Spencer, middle school isn't going to stop me from doing it. I think we have a intentional grounding.
And we've got our referee for the game, Mr. Howard Brookshire. Derek Brookshire will get his first call of the game.
Intentional grounding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Lost down. 5 yards.
So they do rule it. They do rule it intentional grounding. So that's heading back in a tough thing for the Colts to face early on in this championship game.
Well, and you saw him. He had a man in the vicinity, but it wasn't close enough. That official didn't feel it was close enough. And so huge loss of down there with about half the field to go.
And it's a 2nd and 15 in middle school. The intentional grounding is a 5-yard penalty, as it's a handoff over to Logan Duval, left side. Duval steps out of bounds. Gets a gain of about 4 yards on the play, actually back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10.
Well, as you can tell, we're going to have a good dose of Logan Duval tonight. And like I said just a minute ago, I just want to reiterate this. This is the future of your program. You've got some running backs in the system right now, but guess what? He's an 8th grader. Couple years, he's playing at that varsity level. He'll be playing on Friday nights. Throughout the year, 6 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns.
And Poulin, deep toss on the right side. Catch is made by Miles Bernard. Touchdown for the Colts.
The result in the play,
Well, and that's Pulin's 20th passing touchdown of the year. There's some varsity quarterbacks that don't have those kind of numbers. 20 passing touchdowns now, 6 rushing touchdowns, 1 interception. An incredible streak for the young man. And they're going extra point here. Oh, boy.
James's favorite thing will be the extra point attempt, and kicked up, and
Okay.
the extra point is good. That was kicked by Zeke Lawyer.
There's some
another
high
eighth
school
grader.
kickers I haven't seen that good.
We might see him for the Colts to start out varsity season next year. 7-0 already. Kickoff here for the Colts on the 30-yard line. Again, we talked about it several times on the show, the 40-by-80 field.
Only one in the state.
And that's right here in White House, Tennessee. And the catch is made by Daniel Francis, the 7th grader. He's going to the right side for the Falcons. It doesn't have any blockers, but gets tripped up in Colts territory at the 38-yard line.
That's a big old boy with some big old wheels, and he was rolling. It was like the song Eastbound and Down. He was rolling. There wasn't anybody that was going to stop him except for the edge of the field. That's what stopped him. So big return there. Really set him up with good field position. Looks like they're going to put him at about the 36-yard line. FCA or CCS rather able to kill about 3 minutes with that touchdown drive.
And the Falcons put their trust in Nathan Ritchie, the 8th grader for quarterback, and they've got Francis out on the right and Caleb Lee, the 8th grader, on the left, as they give it to the left side to Francis, but gets tripped up in the backfield. Big defensive move by the Colts, and that is Dakota Belcher, the 8th grader.
Well, I don't know about Belcher, but he belted him there in the backfield right now, right there, trying the jet sweep to the left side. He wasn't fooled. That Colts defense, there's a reason they've only allowed 14 points all year, and we're going to find out why right here on this drive.
Craig Hentrick is the head coach for the
That's
Falcons.
Right, Craig Hentrick. You heard that correctly. Ex-Titans punter.
The one before Mr. Kern.
Yeah.
Head coach, and he's led them to a 4-2 season thus far, looking to get a championship for middle school. Left side catch is incomplete. Attempted target to Caleb Lee.
Well, and as long as you guys got guys like Dakota Belcher coming off that defensive line, that offensive line is going to have to step up big tonight. I also think that, numbers could potentially play a role because right now you've got 5 guys on the sidelines for FCA, and you've got looks like about 8 and 9 for CCS. So we'll see if the numbers game comes into this at all. Most of your middle school teams, I know Riverside actually played with 8, maybe 9 this year, played a little bit of Ironman football, and so they struggled. But most of your middle school teams, you're only going to have about 12, maybe 13 guys out there. But it's good in terms of development for being Iron.
Ritchie takes a direct snap, right side. Gets to about the 32-yard line as clock continues to run down, and the Falcons are just marching down the field.
Well, and that was a big move right about the 35-yard line right there that you saw from Ritchie, just shoving off the defender, picking up the extra 5, 6, 7 yards to make up for that tackle for loss there on first down.
Of course, you can also see that a lot of alumni on the sidelines for both teams. For Christian Community, of course, they've got Dan Adams as the defensive coordinator. They've got Nathaniel Rowley and Colton Rollins. Rollins, graduate of the class of
2017. 18.
18, and then 2019 class. Colton Rollins, an assistant coach. The
Rowley was from 19. Rollins was from 18.
And that one's going to be an offsides. Either that or neutral zone infraction. Move it forward 5 yards. Lucky break for FCA.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Encroachment on the defense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Still
So it's
remaining.
Like you said, that's a
sorry, James. Go ahead.
like you said, that's a big break for FCA to get those extra 5 yards, get the ball moved up. So instead of looking at a 4th and 6 right now, they're looking at 4th and 1. Very convertible 4th and 1 here. You have to, though. You cannot allow CCS to get the ball back.
Especially with the less time you have in each quarter. Here's direct snap right side. Richie trying to get through, and he's not.
I think he got it.
They move the chains. It's a first down.
Great job just heading to the right side. They had a tight formation there. There was no one out wide, so that end really had to seal the edge there. And once he was able to do that, Richie was able to get to the outside, just make a straight beeline for the sideline, but put it at an angle to where it was just past the first down marker. Great execution by the 8th grade quarterback. That's the kind of stuff you want to see as a varsity head coach, that your guy is learning this young. That's stuff you can build on.
It's now a 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. The Falcons are trying to get a score. There's a sweep to the left. Caleb Lee brought down by Logan Duvall. You already mentioned it, that we'd be seeing a lot of him tonight, and on that defensive side, he gets the stop.
Well, he's doing it on both sides of the ball, and this is the perfect situation with middle school football to develop that, I said it earlier, that Iron Man mentality. But Duvall, so far on the year, 4 sacks, and it doesn't have his tackles recorded, but he's very familiar with getting in the backfield and making a little noise. And that's what FCA is going to have to adapt to tonight.
Casey Jorgensen, the alumnus on the sideline for the Falcons class of 2015, as the defense stuffs Richie there. That was another play.
Yes, it was, Spencer.
He was brought down by number 53.
Look, of course, it was Dakota Belcher.
Yeah.
8th grader.
Yeah. Old boy's getting in there. Old boy's tearing it up. I told you, FCA's offensive line is going to have to adapt to that. Richie can't just run to the outside all night. He can't just bounce out for keepers. At some point, they're going to have to be able to do some stuff up the middle as well as throw the football, but there has to be time for that. And if your offensive line isn't giving you that time, you're going to struggle all night, and the trophy is going to stay right here in White House.
60 seconds left in the first. Falcons trying to get a score before the end of 6. And Richie looks for the pass. Right side, overthrew his receiver, Sam Hentridge, son of Coach Craig. And the incompletion there is just overthrew his receiver.
Well, he was taking a shot there. Sorry about that. He was taking a shot there, which is what they needed to do on 3rd and long, because right here you just punt the ball away. Try to get it, your punter's going to end up standing on about the 40-yard line, I think. Well, they're not going to punt it. They're going for it.
Go for it on 4th down with 49 seconds left.
They're going to spread the field, though.
Left side motion. Richie tosses it again, right side. The catch is made. Big catch by Sam Hentridge, and a touchdown for the Falcons.
And is there a flag on the backside? Nope, no flags. That's a huge connection. On that play, on that 3rd down, Richie figured out what he needed to do to be able to hit Sam Hentridge. He narrowed it down just right, and you saw him just enough time to put the ball back there. FCA might want to think about doing that a little more often, moving to that shotgun formation just to give that offensive line a little bit of help, 3-4 yard bumper, just to get and give Richie a little bit more time if they're going to throw the ball tonight.
Braden Thornton on the coverage there, another 8th grader. Of course, the son of Tommy Thornton, defensive coordinator for the varsity team. And he's got really good mentorship to look up to, a guy who has 3 championships under his belt. The head coach, I'll make that 4 total with winning last year's conference championship, as the 2-point conversion attempt is no good. It's 7-6. The Colts lead by an extra point. The 2019 MTAC Middle School Football Championship game, presented by Kingdom.com, is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin, visit allergyfranklin.com. And Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance, visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. 41 seconds left to go in the first as the touchback is there, just in and out of the hands of the Colts, Miles Bernard, and we'll see the Colts offense under the coordination of Ben Pugh.
Well, it's like I said, Spencer, in pregame. Of course, CCS won the first game 44-0, but every time there's a second matchup, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different setup. And so you're going to have a little bit of a battle. I mean, you look at, just to reference, last year in varsity, Tennessee Heat kicked off the season at Lancaster Christian. Big win for the Knights. Consolation game last year, they played each other. Much closer ball game. Second time you play each other, you know what you need to do now, especially if it's a newer opponent and a newer coach.
Falcons have seen their offensive schemes before, but will it make a difference? Miles Bernard, the intended receiver, incomplete.
The intended target was number 4.
Well, and he had plenty of time on that too. Just a little too much gun on that arm. Well, I kind of like these quicker quarters. I'm not going to lie.
But again, Poulin as a 7th grader, for him to already through not even 6 minutes of play, for him to have that deep of an arm, I mean, his stats show that that if he keeps himself healthy and works even harder in the offseason, he could potentially be a starting quarterback for the Colts coming in a few years.
Well, they're going to have to figure something out, and I think they have a guy on the roster right now. But
there's left side, Miles Bernard gets tripped up. That's Caleb Lee making the stop, but that will move the chains.
Caleb Lee of the Falcons. The result of the play.
Well, a very solid run game for CCS. So right off the bat here in the first quarter, Spencer, running game for CCS, very solid. They can throw the ball, but a very solid running game. And for Franklin Christian, just give Richie a little bit of time, let him start airing the football out, maybe let him keep it.
1st and 10. Right side, catch is made. Bernard again as time expires. Bernard weaving through the defense. Can they stop him? They won't get to him. Touchdown for the Colts to end the first quarter.
Miles Bernard, the result of the play.
Well, you want to end it with a bang like that.
Touchdown!
Just a great job finding that seam on the right side off of the wide receiver screen. Able to make a couple men miss, and once he got that far outside edge, it was him in the sideline doing the polka.
So with time expiring, we got the extra point attempt. Zeke Lawyer to kick, and the hold. The kick is good. 14-6. The Colts at the end of the first quarter lead the Falcons. The 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship game, presented by Kingdom.com, is sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. And by Chuck Miner Homes. Visit Chuck Miner Homes for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family.
6-7-2.
Start of the second quarter. Put 6 minutes on the clock there as we have a return. That is the Falcons getting the return. Caleb Lee.
He was brought down by number 11, Brendan Thornton of the Colts. To bring up a Falcons.
Thornton coming in on the tackle, and so we're going to see this FCA offense again. They took a little bit of time off the clock last time, but it was an effective drive, punching the ball down into the end zone. Now, they're going to have to get this 2-point to tie it up, obviously. If you can do math, you can figure that out. But this is a big drive right here for them. This is to keep the game from getting out of hand.
defensive stop is very much what they need. You could see at the bottom of the camera there the cap showing of, I believe, Coach Steve Adams, head coach for varsity, out here tonight, seeing his potential future varsity Falcons as woven through. It's all the way up the middle for a big run. That's Nathan. That's
Richie. Richie kept it. Like I said, he's going to have to do some keepers. He's going to have to air the football out. They've tried running the ball with their running backs tonight, and that's not going to cut it.
Nathan Ritchie getting the big move for the Colts, and for the Falcons as they're trying to get an offensive move going here.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure the Colts wouldn't have wanted him to have that run right there.
Probably not.
It was a very impressive run.
But 1st and 10 on about the 32-yard line. The Falcons trying to push it further down the field, get another score before the half.
And FCA didn't like something.
Timeout taken by the Falcons. That's their first timeout of this half.
So timeout called by the Falcons with 7:08 left to go in the second. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business.
Yes, sir.
Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy, your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Timeout called by the Falcons. They got 2 more remaining as trying to push down here. Toss across the middle. The catch is made. What an athletic move by Caleb Lee. Touchdown, FCA.
Well, and that's 2 passes by Richie, right on the money. That one right there, right over the heads of the linebackers for FCA. We got the replay, and you're going to see him. I told you, move back in the shotgun. Give that line a minute. Just help him out. And right over the top of that coverage. Perfect throw, perfect catch. Falcons are keeping this a ball game.
They got to get a 2-point conversion here to be able to tie it up. We're seeing a lot of familiar names from the varsity level as well. Shaka Hill on the sideline too. All the varsity guys cheering on their middle school team.
I didn't see Shaka there for a second, but there he is.
2-point conversion attempt, direct running by Nathan Ritchie, and we got ourselves a ball game. 14-14, 7:01 left to go in the second. Falcons keep it interesting, tied up at 14 in the middle school MTAC football championship. .01 left to go in the second. Falcons just get a nice squib kick there as they're trying to rush through and turn for Cy Irvine. And he's weaving through the defense down to about the 40-yard line. And great field positioning for the Colts to work with.
Well, and that's a solid return there. You know, trying to, give your team some decent position, starting about the 20-yard line. Good return, able to break some tackles, and looks like Lee is down right here by the sideline.
It's not a good sign for the Falcons this early on for somebody to be injured. We'll step aside for an injury timeout. Caleb Lee just on the sideline, getting appropriate medical attention, taking a little bit of a break, and hopefully they will get recouped. So that's a second timeout for the Falcons already after the injury timeout. So they're just meeting and discussing, recouping the game plan, it looks like. Coach is just having a discussion there. You know, it's interesting. We've already seen in this game, it's decently scoring 14 for both teams. And like we said plenty of times of the prospects that are going to be going up to varsity, it's just a really interesting thing. It's kind of like, you know, the Reese's Senior Bowl that they do for college, where, you know, it's not a exhibition game, but well, it is an exhibition game, but it's not a meaningless game by any means.
Yeah,
it's a chance for
the winners don't get a lifetime supply of Reese's. It's meaningless.
You know, that would be a good idea, but the problem is you have to get that to a 30-something man roster for the teams. How many?
Oh, really? That's really going to hurt Reese's. That's really going to cut into their as
Over
much
life,
Reese's
yes.
as I buy. That's really going to hurt their bottom line.
It would
I could see that happening.
It would be just like they'd probably give one free Reese's cup per week per year.
No.
Yeah, they do.
That is
That's
ridiculous.
What they do.
That would be ridiculous.
Speaking of something not ridiculous, to run on the left side.
I prefer to call that something ridiculous because that's a solid, ridiculous run. And just the power and the ability. I mean, you saw the spin move on the backside of the play.
Second down.
I don't know if that. So there's a sideline warning on the Colts.
No, it's on the Falcons.
I believe they.
No, it is on the Colts. You're right.
They pointed it to the Colts.
You're right.
Give me a sub.
So they do have. The referee just has his microphone on at the moment.
They got to fix the knee pad. Looks like here on the pants.
That's Jacob Calvert getting that knee pad looked at. And they got. Falcons got
an equipment issue.
Excuse me, not Calvert. That's Daniel Francis, who they're having to look at, and Zachariah Sexton.
Well, they've got an equipment issue, and the officials took an official timeout, so the player has to come out for a play until he can get that problem resolved.
And run on the left side for the Colts. That's Irvine again gets down to about the 18-yard line, so move the chains, 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Just a good hard running. Some good hard running, and again, CCS is able to keep that ball on the ground and keep it moving, and eat that clock up. Already eating up 2 minutes here. Excuse me, in the second quarter rather.
Time management is a very key thing to look at, especially in middle school football, especially with the less time that you have to work with. And run to the right side by the Colts. Sai again. Gain of about 6 yards for 2nd and 4.
Well, whenever CCS wants to shake it up, obviously they can go Poulin, they can go Irvine, just back and forth and back and forth. And honestly, at the middle school level, that's what you want to do. You want to give your guys plenty of time. You don't want to push them through. 5 rushing touchdowns so far on the year for Irvine.
2nd and 5. Poulin looking for the pass. He's got some options to work with. Goes to the right. Out of bounds at the 12.
None of his options came open. He did the best that you could do in that situation, though. Really, the only thing you can do, just run the football. Get it. Go ahead and run out of bounds. Avoid the hit. And now we're going to see Francis check back in after getting his equipment violation fixed up, getting it taken care of. That's something that FCA needs. They need that kind of leader in the game right now, and you've seen them not have that the last couple plays, and it's been very obvious.
3rd and 2. And up the middle, it's a run and touchdown for Sai Irvine.
Well, now, I'm looking over at Falcon 1. I think you could have put Falcon 1 up the middle of that hole that the offensive line created if it could stand being on the field. Just a wide open gaping hole, rather. I don't know why I said gapping hole. Gaping hole.
Were you at Gap earlier today? Is that why you're in the mindset?
Why would a straight white guy be at Gap?
I mean, you do have a wife.
Touche.
They also have Gap for kids.
My kids aren't wearing Gap. They're wearing Under Armour.
That's
well,
true.
no extra
Yeah,
point here.
No extra point. 2-point conversion attempt. It's good.
Pass is complete to number 15,
Pass completed to Irvine. So
2-point
make that
conversion.
22-14. The Falcons down by 8 in the middle school championship. .5:33 left to go in the second, and a kickoff for the Colts as they are trying to get championship secured. As it's received by Jacob Calvert. He's
No, it's
going
Francis.
to the right side. Daniel Francis to the left side
Ball's returned by number
to the
45, Daniel Francis.
35-yard line as Falcons go back to work on offense.
I know being a bigger guy in middle school is kind of relative in terms of high school, but some of these bigger guys in middle school, they've really got some wheels on them, and they're able to get up and move, even more so than maybe some big guys in varsity would be able to do. And that's really cool to see. It's cool to see that you've got guys coming up with beef who can still make moves and still make plays. That's very encouraging as a coach.
1st and 10 on the 35 as the Falcons down by 8, trying to tie it back up again.
Hey, how about giving this video a like if you want Spencer to buy a cough button for me?
Really interesting thing about this game, the Falcons have scored 14, the most points total that any team has scored against
on
the
CCS,
Colts
yeah.
for middle school this year.
And it's been 2 passes. It hasn't even been like a handoff where, a little 3-yard run. It's been 2 bombs just that they let go on CCS. And the Colts are still trying to figure out this pass cover, what kind of pass coverage they need, because it wasn't like Richie has gone to the same guy. He went to Hentrick, and then he went to Caleb Lee.
A lot of support from both coaching staffs on the sideline. You got Coach Flanders and Thornton, the offense coordinator, head coach for the Colts, and defensive in Thornton as left side. Rush there again by Richie, but same thing with the Falcons. You've got all their varsity coaching staff on the sideline. You've got, just shows the amount of support that both varsity coaches are giving for the middle school program.
Well, I'll tell you something that the varsity coach can help with, and it's related to that play. I loved watching that textbook tackle right there by, what number was that? Caden Poulin. Just a textbook, break it down, shoulder pads to the knees, take him to the ground. Textbook tackle. You love seeing that coaches are able to teach him that teach the players that, and that they're following it and understanding it.
Taken by the Colts.
And a timeout has been called. Timeout has been called by the Colts. 3:59 left to go in 2019 MTAC Middle School Football Championship. It's presented by Kingdom.com, sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And by Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. 3:59 left to go in the second. Spencer Thompson, James Shannon, proud to bring you this middle school championship, the first ever MTAC middle school championship. As Caleb Lee back in the game after being shooken up, gets to the right side, and first and 10 as they move the chains to the 32-yard line.
Well, and a solid run there just to pick up that first down, come out of the timeout that CCS called. That means you get a timeout too. So that means you can back up, you can regroup, and figure out what kind of game plan you want to have for the next few plays, and kind of possibly even script your plays. And that's always an advantage that you want to have.
And, in the past, the MTAC has never actually regulated a middle school championship. They've had sort of bragging rights for whoever has the better in-division record. There's never been a trophy and such. But we posted it on our Instagram story earlier. That trophy hardware for the middle school championship, it's pretty legitimate.
It's all right.
Pretty decent-looking trophy for middle school. As we got another timeout called by the Falcons.
Taken by the Falcons. That is their final timeout.
As their final timeout at half, 3:04 left to go in the second. Kingdom.com is the presenter for this middle school championship. .304 left to go in the second as the Falcons called their last timeout of the half. A lot of timeouts called by middle school just for the coaches to regroup and make sure their guys have the game plan.
You'd rather do that than a player not understand his role and what he's supposed to do and then make a crucial mistake.
Here's a player who knows exactly what he has to do. It's Nathan Ritchie gets a first down and more into the red zone at about the 12-yard line and moving the chains.
Well, you saw him break a tackle there after he headed to the left side. That was a great move. Where's one? There's two. There's three. Bam, cut up the middle, able to pick up the yardage necessary. That's a big first down.
Especially for the Falcons before the halftime break. They do receive the second half kickoff, so to get a touchdown here and potentially have a defensive stand, that's huge for them going into the second half.
It is, and you really don't want to turn it over at this point and let CCS score, because then you really are playing from behind. Right now, you're only behind because it's been back and forth, back and forth.
As it's a sweep to the right, Caleb Lee again. Can he weave through that defense? Not this time.
It's a big stop.
Forward progress for a yard, though, so 2nd and 9.
Miles Bernard.
And the Falcons just being stopped by that Colt defense.
It's a big stop there by Bernard. But if you're the Falcons, you cannot give up this opportunity. You're already inside the 20-yard line. You've got a good shot here. We've already seen Ritchie take 2 shots at the end zone, and both of them were good. Actually, I take that back. He was 2 for 3. First one on the first drive was missed. But then he hit the second one, hit one down here on this end of the field in the second quarter. A lot of talent on the field right now.
They got 1:30 to punch it in. Not too much a distance to go, but time management is a big key factor. Toss, right side, catch is made. Daniel Francis gets out of bounds. And first and goal on about the 6-7 yard line.
Miles Bernard for the Colts. That'll bring up.
Well, and it looks like Miles Bernard there on the backside of the play making the tackle, but he allowed him to get out of bounds. That was Francis with the catch. Allowed Francis to get out of bounds, stop that clock, and that saves FCA, in terms of a timeout situation. Even after they've burned all of them, every chance you get to stop the clock on a drive like this is golden. You almost want to buy that player a milkshake after the game.
We might see that. Who knows?
Timeout.
Another timeout called by the Colts, second of the half. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Minor Homes. Visit chuckminorhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. .117 left to go. Falcons trying to punch it in. And brought down in the backfield. There is a flag, though.
That's a horse collar, Spence. That's about as blatant of a horse collar as you can get.
Belcher was the one who brought down the quarterback.
And that's going to be a huge, huge break for FCA.
It looks like this microphone not cutting on there for the official. It just happens from time to time.
It's a Ty Dillinger penalty, Corey.
I'm chatting up a storm with the PA guy. Corey's a great guy, though.
We have to communicate.
Of course.
Broadcast helps PA, PA helps. I mean, it is what it is.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. It's a partnership. You can't have a bad relationship with the PA guy.
Right side, Richie, toss, incomplete.
Oh.
Intended for Francis.
Off of his hand, too.
So now 2nd and goal after the penalty.
Still a minute 7 to go. A lot of time.
A lot of time for them to score. They're trying not to leave as much time for the Ben Pugh-led offensive coordination to try and march down the field. Because there's one thing we know is that Coach Pugh really does like to coordinate his offense in very quick ways, very rapid, as we've seen in the last several championships.
Well, that's what you do when you're an offensive coordinator. You coordinate the offense, Spence. That's what happens.
Talking about it in a more rapid sense, he's more quick in getting down the field as soon as possible.
I got you.
Here goes Caleb Lee weaving through. He's got several Colts surrounding him, and now to about the 5-yard line. They've got about 55 seconds, and got to try to punch one more in here. Not a huge sense of urgency.
Little pitch sweep play picked up a few yards, but it wasn't maybe as big as maybe the Falcons would have hoped. But still a lot of time. You're still good.
About 35 seconds. The Falcons on 3rd and goal on the 7. Potential turning point in this game if they can get a score here. And fake sweep, scramble, and brought down in the backfield. Richie couldn't get up, and that was a big play by Will Hinkle, the 8th grader.
Well, he did a great job. They faked the little pitch sweep.
And they're going for it on 4th and goal.
Well, they've got to hurry up and get the ball snapped. This is their last chance.
And they do. Looking for an option. Right side, it looks like he's looking for Francis. He's going to dive towards the end zone. Touchdown! There's a flag that completely flies, but there is a touchdown.
Well, we're going to end up getting a holding call on this, Spencer. You don't have a run like that without some kind of a holding call, but a great job of improvising by the quarterback, Richie.
They do get the ball back to start the second half.
But if you could score here, you could score right off halftime and set the tempo.
So we'll see what the flag is.
Holding on the offense.
So again, holding on the offense. So they will have one untimed down, it looks like. So they will bring it back.
10-yard penalty. Replaying the down.
So one untimed down.
Well, no, the touchdown stands. No, the touchdown does not stand. Okay.
Yeah, it's one untimed down from the 12-yard line and 4th and goal. So the Falcons do have another shot here as the Colts do call a timeout.
Well, they weren't organized at all. They weren't organized to the level they needed to be. That's a big break for CCS. You know, FCA getting some breaks. Big break for CCS. Get that touchdown wiped off the board. Get a chance to keep this, stay ahead in this ball game, even with the Falcons getting the ball after halftime.
You know, the Falcons, they got the ball here. They've got 12 yards to go. They've been able to get some decent runs, and their first 2 touchdowns have been from deep passes. So what would you go with here? Do you try to toss it over to Lee, or do you get a deeper pass?
Honestly, I think you look at Francis or Hendrick on the left side. Well, no.
Now 4th and goal.
Looks like Coach Pugh was uncertain about something. Spencer, with it being on the right hash, I know that Richie's a right-handed quarterback, but you almost have to bring Francis right here on the right side across the field. Get something behind this defense, behind these linebackers.
Last play of the first half. Toss left side to Lee, almost intercepted.
No, well, Lee caught the ball, but not in the end zone.
So he got the catch, he just didn't get towards the end zone.
He was just a yard shy.
Yard shy. So that's the end of the first half, 22-14. The Colts lead over the Falcons by a 8-point margin. Star Physical Therapy halftime report is coming up. Welcome in, everybody, to the Star Physical Therapy halftime report. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside James Shannon. The score 22-14 at the half, and it's been really interesting. It's a close game. Obviously, that part of that has to do with the short quarters, with it being 8 minutes for the first and second. But it's been a lot about the offense on both sides of the ball. Oh my gosh, they played the song and everything.
It's Sweet Caroline. You can't turn it down.
So good.
So good. Your timing's terrible.
I know it was, but with a 22-14 score, it's been a lot about offense and not so much of the defense for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, FCA has come out, and obviously they were able to adjust some things with CCS only allowing 14 points. You know, that doesn't mean there's not holes. It just means they might have played teams that didn't know how to exploit those holes. And so that's something FCA's been able to do tonight. Get Thornton on a one-on-one matchup. Throw the ball behind the linebackers. They've been able to do things all night. Richie had the touchdown run on the backside that was called back for the hold. So FCA knows what they need to do to score on them. It's just a matter of execution. And I wouldn't worry if you're FCA. You get the ball after halftime. You can still take a shot at this.
Yeah, and it's been really interesting. FCA, they do get the ball to start the second half. What do the Colts do to hold it out on their home turf, take their second championship on their home field?
Well, it's going to come down to guys like Belcher just being able to wreak havoc. And FCA has kind of moved away from the run game a little bit, or they're doing more of an edge run game. Belcher's got to be able to adapt to that and break in there. But you also have to have guys like Poulin and Irvine, Hinkle. Those guys have to be able to get in there and shut that down on the edge, push the plays back to the middle, back into towards Belcher so that they could stop it right there. And if FCA keeps throwing the ball, there's going to have to be some adjustments made in the defensive backfield.
We've got about 9 minutes left to go before the start of the second half. You're watching the 2019 MTAC Middle School Football Championship presented by Kingdom.com. Welcome back to the start of the second half for the 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship. Spencer Tomset and James Shannon will be back up in the booth in just a moment. As soon as I adjust that quarter and get the acronym correct, we are good to go. Pleasure to have you with us. We'll have the trophy presentations on the field afterwards, and we'll interview the victorious coach, whether that's Craig Hentrich or Benjamin Pugh, and we'll interview the tournament MVP. We'll wait for them in just a moment. The Colts receive the first half, so Falcons get it here for the start of the third, and big time to especially get it. It's all culminated to this moment as the Falcons get it on about the 31-yard line.
Ball's recovered by number 17, Nathan Ritchie of the Falcons.
Takes 4 seconds off the clock, and the Falcons are back on the move.
Felt like that was going to be a quicker halftime, but it wasn't. Well, let's see what FCA brings. They had a lot of going on that second drive, that last drive of the second half.
It's one of those questions you wonder if not being able to score on that final play of the second half, you're wondering if that's going to come back to bite them here in the third or the fourth.
I'm about to find out.
So here we go. First play of offense for the second half. Right side, Lee is brought down in the backfield. Who else than Dakota Belcher?
Should buy a lottery ticket with how predictive I am tonight. Told you, Belcher's got to get in that backfield. He's got to start tearing that up a little bit more.
And he has been.
Yes, I'm panting because I just ran up the stairs.
You can walk with me at the All-Star game, buddy.
Mac and cheese has not been. No, it ain't that. Mac and cheese has just not been nice to me. Little sausage, biscuits and gravy.
It sounds good right now. All that sounds
gravy and
good.
cantaloupe.
We haven't decided where we're going to eat after the game. We always decide that last second, but it's going to be a good post-game meal. Left side, it's rushed by Francis. Still on his feet. Francis pushing through, finally forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line as the clock continues to run.
We should just swing over and spring over to Springfield, get some Just Pizza.
Probably
They're
could.
still open.
Will they be open when we're all is said and done in the game? Probably.
Well, it's only 8 o'clock. I believe they probably close about 10. It'll be tight.
It'll be a tight window. We'll could probably place an order and have it ready when we get there.
Boom. They got you. You want a White House, though. Need a Jetson White House.
They might get one
If
sooner
the correct
than later.
party's listening. There you go.
Jets. Let's get Jets. Third down for the Falcons, trying to get something going.
Not a lot of success on these first 2 running plays.
Ritchie, toss across the middle to Lee. The catch is made, and Lee to the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons.
What a play. What a play. Second time going to Ritchie. And they just kind of sucked that defense in. 1-2 run. Third down, shotgun. Give his quarterback some time. And, boy, that was a bomb.
Ritchie
That
to
was a
Lee.
bomb of a throw.
Across the middle.
And a great job by Lee getting behind that Colts defense. Just right over the shoulder, sprinting in. No one was going to catch him.
I think the Falcons might have someone potentially lined up to be a quarterback for varsity next year. What do you think?
Maybe.
Just maybe?
I don't know about next year. They got Zach Dooley, a sophomore right now.
That's true.
So the smart thing to do would be give him his 2 years, junior, senior.
Up the middle, and the 2-point conversion is no good. That could change everything.
That's huge. That's huge. Ritchie's only an 8th grader. Dooley, a sophomore. There's 2 years there. So let Dooley play it out. Ritchie will come in as a junior, and then he'll start as a junior, senior. They've got their next 4 years taken care of, rather.
6:12 left to go in the third in this 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship game. And a direct catch off of the kickoff after the bounce. Logan Duval gets the ball. 6:06 left to go, and the Colts could potentially do some damage here with another touchdown.
Well, they could definitely jump ahead, really put a lot of pressure on these Falcons. But kudos to FCA. 2 minutes, and they've tied it up. 2 minutes, well, they could have tied it up. Missed the two-point conversion, but 2 minutes, they could have tied it up, keeping that momentum coming out of the first half. That's huge for the Falcons.
Falcons definitely will need some big defensive stop here going. So run up the middle. There goes Duval. Duval weaving through the defense. Duval to the end zone. Touchdown.
And that's the answer you wanted if you're CCS. Give it to your man and let him just take off. What a great run. Offensive line doing a good job of opening that up. And coming from that shotgun position, or flanking the shotgun, made one man miss and he was gone. That was the one man that he had to make miss because no one else was there to stop him.
So now make that 28-20, potential to make it a 2-score game.
This is a huge 2-point conversion right here.
Or an extra point.
With FCA missing theirs. Yeah, they're going to go extra point here. No, they're going to go 2-point.
2-point conversion attempt. Poulin takes a direct snap into the end zone. 30-20, the Colts lead in the MTAC Middle School Football Championship. The Kingdom.com the 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go with a yes, sir, this time. Huh?
Oh, I just shook your whole world up, didn't I?
Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. So a big score and 2-point conversion made by the Colts as the ball goes out of bounds.
That's big for FCA. That's going to give them great field position.
Goes out of bounds. They'll place it at the, I believe, the 30-yard line because of it being a 40-by-80 field. And actually, it looks like they may be placing it. They're placing it on the 20-yard line. Looks like it didn't go out of bounds. I believe the. So it must have been it went to the 20-yard line and didn't go fully out of bounds. Looks like it may have.
Well, let's wait and see what the official call is.
Coach Hentrich just talking with the officials, trying to figure out what's going on, and they are placing.
They're going to re-kick it.
They will re-kick.
Illegal procedure.
It's an illegal procedure called on the Colts.
Replaying the kickoff.
Well, maybe not so much of a break for FCA.
Looked like it may have been, but to the 25-yard line we go. It's now a kickoff on the 25-yard line. And a little squib kick, and this one actually goes out of bounds. So now it'll be placed on the 30-yard line.
Penalty markers on the field.
Let's see if they let him keep it, or if they make him re-kick it.
I believe they're just going to get the chain set up, and they're going to place it at the 34-yard line where it went out of bounds. So good,
huge
lucky
field
break.
position for FCA.
Good lucky break for the Falcons as they're all going towards the sideline. Interesting strategy there to have the coach have the huddle basically on the sideline instead of out on the field.
Well, I don't see why not.
Good to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah. I better hurry up.
Yeah, they
got
got
about 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
under center,
2.
Ritchie.
They got it
So
away.
sweep to Lee, left side. Lee, he's got blockers. Pushes through for a 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1.
Pretty good play for everyone not really knowing what they're doing on the play. Or maybe not being 100% on the same page, but a great job by Coach Hendrick to get the guys that were, get the guys on, on the page that they needed to be. And good job by Ritchie getting his team set and getting the play off without taking a 5-yard penalty.
The last thing the Falcons need in this situation is any penalties. That or any defensive stance. 2nd and 1. There's another sweep to Lee, left side. 1st down and more. Cuts back in, down to the 37-yard line.
Number 3, Caleb Lee.
About 5 minutes left to go in the third.
Big 1st down for FCA. Keep the ball rolling, keep the clock going. Down by 10, you want to eat up as much time as you can.
That's putting a lot of faith in your defense, which so far through the game, the Falcons have allowed 30 points on defense. So it's a lot of trust they're putting in their guys.
Yeah, but at some point you have to turn around, put that trust in the guys and say, you know what, you guys can do it on the offensive side of the ball. For you guys to play both ways, let's see if you can do it on the defensive side as well.
Clock winding down. And same play 3 times in a row to Lee. Gets a collision there. Gain of 5 yards on the play, maybe 6.
Well, it's been a very effective play, Spencer. I don't know why you wouldn't keep running it until CCS shuts it down, because right now they're able to just pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, wham, bam, 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 and so they're able to keep it going. Close ball game already. FCA, as you can tell, FCA has scored more points than CCS has given up all season. That's a big story of the game right there.
2nd and 5. 4th time in a row. Here goes Lee, weaving through. Can he get the 1st down? Might move the chains on this one. See where they spot it.
No, they didn't pick up the 1st down.
It's about a 3rd down and 1, and it looks like we've got a Colt down on the field. Can't see from here who is injured, but looks like we've got one of the Colts down, an injury timeout here. 3:26 left to go in the third. .326 left to go in the third. 3rd down and 1 for the Falcons.
Big old boy Francis in the backfield. Let's see if they can pound.
Francis 1st down.
Yards.
How about
He's
a little
got
bit more than a couple of yards? He loses the football, but that will move the chains just outside of the red zone.
Well, they went with the power formation there, put Francis in the backfield, and just give it to him. If he runs into somebody, hopefully he'll have the power to go ahead and break the tackle. If not, if he doesn't run into anybody, he's proven tonight that he has speed and he can get to where he needs to go. I'm going to enjoy calling these names in a couple years, Spence. You look at some of the stars, even guys that have graduated. You know, your Hayden Weeks, Brandon Miner, Zane Quibido, guys that played middle school ball for FCA.
Zane Quibido didn't, but
That's right,
Hayden and I believe Brandon came in as a freshman, maybe an 8th grader, so he may have. Hayden Weeks did play for the middle school team back for FCA. Tripped up in the backfield is Lee. And Caleb Lee, they've been trusting him a lot with those sweeps, but the Colts defense looks like they finally got to stop it.
Well, and it looks like Bernard was able to get in there and make the stop.
Now, Miles Bernard, one of the big names that has been called tonight, the 8th grader. It's looking like next year the Colts, unless they get a lot more in their middle school program, they're only going to have about 4 or 5 guys on their team. So hopefully
they always reload on varsity and in middle school.
Scramble by Ritchie, looking for the option. He's going to try running it up the middle. He's weaving through tackles. Made something out of nothing there, gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
That was a great job improvising by Ritchie. He noticed he wasn't going to be able to hit his man. Looks like it was Hentrick down the field that he was looking for. And so Ritchie, great job, like you said, improvising and adapting, making things happen with his leg.
And about 1:45 left in the third. Timeout is called by the Falcons. It's very interesting. 2 timeouts remaining for FCA, the 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship, presented by Kingdom.com, is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, and Clarksville. Let's get Jets. The Allergy Center of Franklin. Visit allergyfranklin.com. And Joe Graves with I Hate Buying Insurance. Visit IHateBuyingInsurance.com. Third down and 6. The Falcons have 2 timeouts remaining. Ritchie left side, too low of a pass. It's headed for Francis. If he had caught it, he could have gotten the first down.
Well, and it was well placed. It was a little low, but it was to the point where Francis could have caught it and just turned around and made this a 4th and 1 situation. But instead now they're looking at about a 4th and 7. And it kind of cuts your options down on what you could do now. Again, we've seen Ritchie take shots on 4th down, and he could take one again now. I mean, Lee's on the field. Hentrick's on the field. He's got some targets that he could hit.
Crucial play on 4th down on the 18-yard line. A turnover here, and the Colts can get another score punched in. It'll be tough.
How about a shout-out to all?
False start. That's the last thing they needed.
How about a shout-out to all y'all watching?
Ref's mic still not working tonight, unfortunately. We'll get that fixed for you for our Friday night. But, again, as James was saying, special thanks to all 27 of you watching this 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship. Special presentation for us. Had our first game in Alabama earlier with the Ezel Eagles and the Evangel Lightning, and our first middle school game ever.
Spencer, where are we going to be this Friday?
We're going to be in Franklin.
Here you go, 4th down.
Mountain Lions and the Classical Knights. Toss across the middle. There's Lee. Cuts back to the right. Can he weave through the defense? How about a little bit more? Gets to about the 15-yard line, so that's not going to be enough. And Colton Rollins getting hyped up on the sideline, getting that defensive stop.
That was a phenomenal play execution by Lee and Ritchie. Great throw on the screen. I don't know about the screen call, but great throw on the screen. Lee did what he could do. If they hadn't taken that false start, that would have been enough for the first down. So great job by the Falcons to be able to make some moves, make things happen. Unfortunately, just not enough. And CCS, only just over a minute left here in the third quarter. They could really put the nail in the coffin here.
This is the time of the game where the defense has to stand tall for the Falcons. There's a run on the left side by Duval. Duval going to the right side, gets past another man. How about turning on the Jets? Gets to the outside, almost pulled down. Touchdown, Colts.
Well, he tried to bring him down with a horse collar, and he still couldn't make it happen. That's a phenomenal run by Duval, and that might have been the icing on the cake, the cherry on the top. That might have kept the trophy right here in White House.
Just getting past
What
all
a
the
run.
defenders there.
What a run.
Almost pulled down by the horse collar there, so it would have been a potential penalty by Richie if he had gotten the tackle down.
Let's see if they bring this extra point back out. I think they're doing it. No, maybe. Nope, they're going for 2.
With a 16-point lead, it is a 2-score game, so if they go, even if they get a PAT or 2-point conversion here, it will make it a 3-possession game if successful. Toss, right side, open, incomplete.
Pass was just too short.
16-point game, 106 left to go in the third. The Falcons trying to make some sort of comeback here. The 2019 MTAC Middle School Championship game presented by Kingdom.com is sponsored by Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. Dr. Sterling Foster. Visit drsterlingfoster.com for all your digestive issues and chiropractic needs. Chuck Miner Homes. Visit chuckminerhomes.com for the best home deals in Middle Tennessee. And by Symmetry Financial Group's Daniel Hoffmeister. Safety for your family. .106 left to go in the third. 20-yard line is where it's picked up. And how about a big run from Daniel Francis on the right side? He's got some men to block. Runs into his teammate at the 35-yard line. That's where they'll stop him for forward progress.
Well, he's got some men to block him. Maybe not so much block for him. A couple guys getting in the way there, and that's not what you need. Down 16 rather. With 50 seconds left in the quarter. 8 minutes and 53 seconds left in the ball game.
Mayflanders Field hosted last year's MTAC Varsity Championship, and this year hosting the Middle School Championship. But because of the Colts being the #1 seed in the conference, that's who they defer to for who hosts the middle school.
In terms of middle school first overall seed.
Varsity, of course, they were looking at University of the South last year, and deal fell through, and they ended up hosting it at CCS. Deep toss, right side, flag in the backfield, incomplete. Overthrew his receiver.
Penalty markers on the field.
So, flags down. And
holding on the
it's
offense.
a holding call on the offense, and still have dirty laundry on the field, so see if they can get the microphone on there. Still holding
on the
offense. We'll get that fixed for Friday for sure.
10-yard penalty. Still remaining. First down.
Well, how about Friday? Got a full slate of games. Every Tennessee and Kentucky 8-man team is on the field on Friday night. The only time this season, the only weekend they're all playing.
Except for the Tennessee School for the Deaf, because they have a Thursday game.
I said the only weekend.
Only weekend where every team is active, and
right.
then only 4 teams are active.
Well,
not
only
in Tennessee,
three.
but
Only 3 from Tennessee.
3 from Tennessee active next week for fall break. As run on the left side, clock winding down with about 38 seconds left to go.
Believe he was brought down by number 10.
On second down and 12, the Falcons trying to
Second down.
push down the field, get another score, make it more feasible for them to make a comeback. Down 16 points is going to be tough.
Well, you got to get within striking distance here. That's crucial. That's a must. And Richie's shown he can do it. Richie's let off some bombs so far tonight.
Well, looks like they're going to let it wind down to the end of the third quarter. 8 minutes left in regulation. A 16-point lead for the Colts to try and get their the first middle school championship trophy in MTAC history. The 2019 MTAC Middle School Football Championship is sponsored by International Fire Protection Incorporated. Life safety is our business. As James says, yes, sir. Grow, Live, Give. Visit growlivegive.com. Star Physical Therapy. Your health, our hands. Choose Star. And by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Eight minutes left to go in the MTAC Middle School Championship. First one ever occurring. Spencer Thompson, James Shannon, proud to bring you this championship game. Toss on the left side, incomplete, intended to lead. Proud to bring this to you from May Flanders Field in White House, Tennessee. And it's been a decent game with, even though the score is, 16 points in middle school, it looks like it's a more one-sided game, but a lot of it has come from just a lot of high-scoring offense from both sides of the ball.
Yeah, CCS has been able to run the football all night on FCA, and FCA has been able to take the shots over top of the defense. And that's what's gotten the Falcons to this point right here, scoring more points than CCS allowed in 7 games.
Ritchie, deep toss, left side, intended for Bowden. Bowden incomplete. Looked like it almost went through his hands.
Well, it was a good shot. It was a good. That showed you right there. They're trying to make it happen, and they're trying to make these bombs complete. Which sometimes doesn't quite work out.
And on 4th and 11, this drive is very crucial for the Falcons.
Friday night, we'll be in Franklin. It's Franklin Classical, St. Andrews Swanee, big MTAC South game. Looking forward to it.
Game between two teams that have been mathematically eliminated for the playoffs, but first time we will broadcast for the Mountain Lions. And on 4th down, turnover for the Colts.
Well, they're not mathematically eliminated from playing for pride, though, Spencer. That's what that
Nobody
game Friday night is. A lot of it's been a big rivalry ever since Swanee came in the league in 2011. A lot of back and forth games. And so that's one I'm excited to take a look at. I know there's some other big games going on, Riverside, Lancaster, South Haven Heat. Understand that. But this gives us a chance to cover St. Andrews Swanee. I mean, it also is a rivalry game. It really is, and a very winnable game for both teams.
Last time we broadcasted that game was in 2017 when the Mountain Lions traveled up to Classical. And
we also still had Cole Warren playing, and he was going against Dustin Stinsby.
Left side rush by Duval, gets to the outside, staying on his feet. How about that move? Staying on his feet to about the 5-yard line, and a big move by Duval.
Solid run by the young man right there. That might be a little bit of the future. That might be the future for Christian community in terms of running back. Just a great job getting that outside corner. Almost looked like Gage Holman there. Get that outside corner and take off down the sidelines. By the way, Spencer, FCS and Swanee since 2008. Well, let's say 2011. They played each other in 11-man in 2008. But since 2011, they've played 9 times. And
right side, rush, Pulin trying to get to the end zone, stopped by Hendrich.
Since 2011, they've played 9 times. Swanee leads the series 5-4. So Classical with a chance to tie the series up in 8-man. But they've lost the last 3 games, 23-0, 34-14, and 12-6. So a great matchup coming up Friday night, but right here at May Flanders Field, this middle school championship, CCS has got a chance right here to really just wrap it up, put a bow on it.
To fully put it away. As 6:24 left to go in the game, and a timeout called by the Falcons, trying to conserve time. .24 left to go in the game as the Colts left side.
What a stop.
That was a handoff to Irvine, but a big stop made by the Falcons.
Francis busts in the backfield and drops Irvine. It's a great job by the Falcons right there, forcing a third down at the 10-yard line. Now CCS needs to slow down, figure out what they want to do. They got 2 downs.
Trying to waste time on the clock, too, not give the Falcons enough time to get 2 scores.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. Although FCA did score in 2 minutes to start off the second half. So Ritchie has that ability for the long ball, and they could really do some damage in a short amount of time.
3rd and 10. Shovel pass, right side. That's
Nope.
Duval.
There it
Duval,
is.
end zone touchdown.
There it is. That might have done it, Spence.
He will be State Line Auto Parts touchdown.
Just the replay there for Duval. Just a shovel pass on the right side.
Hard run.
Weaving through the defense.
Punches it right up the right side. Great job. Oh, boy. Here we go. Let's see if the young man can hit the extra point. With Falcon 1 in the background.
As it's kicked
Oh,
up.
that was beautiful.
Extra point is good. 43.
That young man's better than some varsity kickers I've seen this year. I'm sorry.
43-20. The Colts trying to wrap it up and secure the first MTAC middle school championship in league history. Coach Craig Hentrich, the former punter for the Tennessee Titans, the head coach of the middle school Falcons, led his team to 2nd place in middle school for the conference and got him here to the MTAC championship. They beat Lancaster Christian's middle school team last week to get here.
Let's see what Francis can do in the return.
Francis just letting it roll out. Right side gets tripped up. That's a big play by Noah Ross, the 8th grader, to prevent him from getting any big yards on the play.
Well, yeah, like you said, a great job here on special teams for Ross to get in there and break it up. Ross, well, he is an 8th grader, kind of a small 8th grader, but still a guy who could contribute in terms of special teams. And sometimes when you get to the high school level, even as a freshman, you can do that. You can contribute on special teams and kind of build that confidence and let your coach you can prove to your coach, and more you'll get playing time. You prove yourself.
Especially have to work hard to prove it to Coach Pugh as well, with the high standard he has of having X amount of championships under his belt. I mean, it's one of those high standards you've got to prove.
He's all right.
And deep toss right side by Ritchie, intended for Lee, incomplete, overshot.
If anything, Richie's got an arm, and FCA arguing that Miles Bernard had the arm of Caleb Lee, but nothing doing there. But yeah, Richie's got an arm. Richie could take a shot. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting situation last year. Do you play the freshman, or do you let Dooley stay in there? That's something that Coach Adams is going to have to figure out. He's getting a good first-hand look at it tonight here on the sidelines.
So about 5:15 left to go in the game as the Falcons are trying to get another score to make it more reasonable. Or at least try to get some comeback here. Flag thrown. Lee gets the catch. How about him going across the middle? Lee avoiding the tackles. He's got two Colts going after him. And down to about the 35-yard line. Big play by Lee. There is a flag down. And it's ruled back on the Falcons. They're going to bring this back.
What a run by Lee, though. I mean, that was an effort. That was a heart and soul hustle play to get it, and a nice tackle there by Braden Thornton. But that's a heartbreaker right there for the Falcons.
On the offense.
Holding on the offense, so
still remaining.
about at the 4-yard line is where they have it spotted. Just an unfortunate turn of events for FCA.
Well, and if you're the Falcons right now and you're 6th through 8th grade, you have nothing to be ashamed of. You've had a fantastic season, and you put up a heck of a fight against these Colts. Again, I cannot reiterate this enough. Scored more points on them tonight than they had scored on them all season.
Here's Lee trying to cut inside. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
Brought down by a host of Colts. That'll bring up the Falcons. 3rd down.
Lee a little slow to get up. He took a lick on that play.
And timeout called with 4:42 left to go in this MTAC 2019 Middle School Championship game. The Colts trying to wrap it up. Timeout. .441 as Falcons trying to get something going. A deep shot and incomplete.
Just couldn't haul it in, and that was really their last gasp right there.
It was intended for Francis, and now
4th down. Penalty markers on the field.
4th down. There are flags in the field. It's a false start on the offense.
Illegal formation on the offense.
And declined.
It'll
So
still be
it's 4th down.
All right, so they get one more shot at it. FCA, one last gasp.
One last chance to shoot it down the field.
I think you air it out right here. Richie's got the arm to do it. It's only 4th down and 13. 4.5 minutes to go. You take a shot right here, throw the ball about 20 yards, get the 1st down, and maybe even more.
Deep shot right side, picked off. First interception of the game by Miles Bernard. Going to the right side, are we going to see a pick 6? Trying to weave through. Miles Bernard to the 10, going toward the end zone, touchdown, a pick 6 for the Colts.
able to weave his way through that defense, and a big block on the backside of the play. But a huge return by Miles Bernard, and that was FCA's last chance.
You talk about
that's a huge score.
You talk about the kind of the icing or cherry on top. I think that was a cherry on top. That last touchdown may have been the whipped cream, the glaze.
If you say so. You're making me hungry.
Hey, we got good food plans after
First
this.
touchdown was the cheese on the nachos. That one was the jalapeno, the chicken.
If anybody gets nachos without jalapenos or chicken, frankly, what are you doing with your life?
The fact that they're probably a vegan or a vegetarian and they don't like hot food.
Yeah, good thing you added the hot food because I was about to make a point about the jalapenos. But Zeke Lawyer going for the extra point. Blocked. First one that's been blocked all night. And I would not be surprised if
my heart is broken.
I would not be surprised if Zeke Lawyer potentially starts as a kicker for the Colts next year. 49-20.
My heart is broken. That young man was perfect on the night.
Coach Benjamin Pugh, MTAC champion with Franklin Christian in 2015 and 2016 for varsity. And Colts champion for MTAC as an assistant coach in 2018. Looking to get 2 championships in 1 year for 2019. Looking like it's going to be for the Colts a middle school championship. First time as Lee muffs the ball. Picked up by his teammate. That is.
See if we can get a number. That's number 9.
That's number 9. We don't have him on the roster.
No, it might not have been 9. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
number 9.
he is here tonight. Carson Bergs was crossed out. We were told that they were not present tonight.
Might have missed the wrong number. Might have missed the wrong number.
Carson Bergs. So the 7th grader making the play on the kickoff, and about 4:12 left to go in regulation.
Spencer's going to step away for just a second. Francis in motion. There's the toss to Lee to the left side. Tries to find the sideline. He's out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. Good hard run. Not quite first down, but there are some flags on the field. We'll see if we can't get the call. Good hard run there by Lee, and FCA at this point just want to get out of here without anybody seriously hurt. Of course, you got middle school JV football coming up. Want to keep everybody healthy for that as well. Don't want any injuries.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
And maybe even any possible call-ups for the 8th graders with FCA struggling a little bit.
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Second time they've had that
First down.
penalty, I believe. Richie brings his team to the line. They're going to go single back. Offset to the right with Francis. Defense in a 3-3. Richie. Francis in motion. There's the pitch to Lee. Lee to the left side, and out of bounds.
Caleb Lee, he was chased out of bounds by the 15, Irvine.
Looks like right back up at the line of scrimmage.
To bring up the Falcons. Second down.
And so the Falcons are going to be facing second down after taking an illegal formation penalty. Great run, but it wiped out the run. Great run, but the penalty wiped it out. And a carry there by Lee. And CCS, they're excited. They're pumped here at home. This is the second time within a year that the Colts are going to keep a piece of hardware right here in White House on the campus of Christian Community School. There's Richie to the right side, has room, and he's going to get brought down just shy of the sideline.
He was chased down by number 24, Logan Duvall.
Looks like Duvall on the tackle.
It'll be a Falcon.
That's a huge first down for FCA. Of course, they're well outside of striking distance. but a huge play and a lot of a good show of not being without heart. They can still make some stuff happen.
How long has it been since you've had to do play-by-play in color on your own? Not on your own. On your own fully. Was it 2016?
It's been a while. It's not terrible. I can do it.
It's not bad. I remember
I just enjoy doing it with somebody.
I had that happen to me once, 2017. That was the Heat Madisonville Defenders game.
45, Daniel Francis.
Yeah.
He was knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, that happened. Shout out Madisonville, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Our boy Ethan Garrison tearing it up there at Kentucky Christian, so shout out.
Ball goes out of bounds, 2:47 left to go, and just winding down here. And again, it's like we said, there's nothing to be ashamed of for Franklin Christian, of course. They put on but we can't emphasize it enough. Most points anybody has scored. The Colts allowed 14 total of all the teams they faced.
And it was 7
combined.
to one team, 8 to one team, 6 to the other.
So they put up 20 points against the Colts, nothing to be ashamed of, and ending
They might put up some more right here.
Ending
they
there.
got a great drive going on.
As there's deep toss right side intended for Hudson Follis, incomplete.
Great job by Richie on the play fake. He had him beat, and I feel if that was Hendrick or Francis or Lee back there, they might have been able to haul it, especially Hendrick and Francis having a little more size on them. But a great job there by Richie. Very impressed with the young man. I haven't been able to see him all year, but I'm very, very, very impressed.
There's a lot of great things to be impressed about in this MTAC Middle School Championship game. All these 8th graders for the Colts are going to finish their middle school season as champions. What a swat down by Bernard. This is Mason Bernard, the 7th grader.
Great job getting in there, breaking it up. Mason and his brother Miles going to be able to pick up a title together. Now Mason's coming back. Miles will not. But it's always special when you can win something with your brother. I've never been there, but I assume it's special.
Maybe you should do like a tag team thing. You've never won anything with your brother?
Nope.
At least not physical sports. Anything gaming wise?
No.
Nothing.
No. We're competitive, so we go against each other.
You should probably do something game wise. Timeout called by the Falcons.
2:37
left to go, and Falcons just trying to get another score, but Colts wrapping it up to get their first middle school championship.
Final time.
Suplex.
.237 as
I think CCS got the ball.
Fumble there, and waiting for the call. Looks like the Colts. Looks like the Colts got the ball. Yep, Colts got the ball.
It wasn't a fumble. They just stopped them from getting the first down. That's big for CCS. Right here, just run it, and let the clock bleed.
Yep, few plays to let the clock bleed. Stay tuned. We got the prize presentations coming up on our broadcast. If you remember from the MTAC Championship last year, same deal. All conference players. And
hey, listen, while we have you, listen to the broadcast. You know what you need to do?
Get the bell
right
on.
now. No, well, that. You go to 8manextreme.com. First off, vote for your choice of player of the week. Second off, you need to enter in our Chick-fil-A raffle.
Yep.
You can win free Chick-fil-A for a year. It's $10 an entry. All you got to do, put your name, your email, how many entries you want. and you will receive a PayPal invoice for however many entries you receive. You're not locked into the raffle until that invoice is paid. It is open until the MTAC Championship game, November 9th, and we will have the drawing for the winner November 16th at the 2019 Chick-fil-A Extreme All-Star Game.
And don't forget that you can enter as many times as you want, and all proceeds go directly towards 8-Man Extreme and supporting the players and everything we do.
As again, we don't make a dime off anything we do.
No money made. All towards the players, especially these middle school ones in the championship game. So run up the middle. Gain of about 3 yards. It's just winding down here. Well, Pugh is going to get his, I believe this is now 4th championship total in football. It'll be his 4th championship, or at least where he's been on the coaching staff for championship teams. It'll be 2 with FCA, 1 with CCS.
But his first 3 were as an assistant coach. This is his first championship win as a head coach. That's a big.
You still get a championship ring, even if you're assistant coach.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. You're making it out like he's the head coach. He did have an important role in each team.
That's the point I'm making.
This is even more special because this is his first as a head coach at the helm. And, of course, leading some ex-CCS players like Rowley and Rollins.
There's a big run. Tripped up is Noah Ross. Gained him another first down, and they're probably just going to knee it here a few more times. The victory formation.
Now, they might have to have help from these coaches, but we're on Gatorade alert. I'm on Gatorade alert.
We're on Gatorade alert, and it's again, we talked about at the start of the broadcast how Franklin Christian has won several MTAC championships in different sports over the course of their history, and a lot of them coming in the last 6, 7, 8 years. The Colts are starting to go on track already for that, with getting volleyball varsity championship, getting their varsity football championship last year, getting close in basketball, but of course it's the dynasties continue for the Colts, not just varsity football. Big move by Noah Ross, brought down at about the 34, 33-yard line, and clock's going to wind down. Maybe
Richie with a very statement-making tackle there. But what a run!
Noah Ross.
It was Ross. That was a fantastic run. They're going to get one more play in, I think. I think they're going to make him run one more.
One more.
I'm on Gatorade alert. Doesn't look like anything.
Waiting for somebody to possibly grab the.
Nope, they're going to call it. That's it.
That's it. And the Colts win the first MTAC middle school football championship. The Christian Community Colts, their 2nd championship, won on their home turf. We're headed down to the field for the prize presentations. We will be back in just a moment. Don't go away. All right, Colt Nation, how does it feel to get another championship on your home turf? Before we present the trophies, we've got the all-conference awards for both teams. We'll start with the second-place team for middle school this year, Franklin Christian Academy. Start with number 3, Caleb Lee. And number 17, Nathan Ritchie. And congratulations to the second-place team for the middle school football season of the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference, Franklin Christian Academy. And now the all-conference members for Christian Community. Number 4, Miles Bernard. And number 53, Dakota Belcher. And your 2019 tournament MVP, the 8th grader, number 24, Logan Duval. And congratulations. And congratulations to the first middle school football champions, the Christian Community Colts.
Take a picture. All right, organize for a picture. Let's go. Let's organize for a picture. Quickly, guys, quickly. We can get another picture later. Hurry up. We'll get another one. We'll get another one. Yeah, we'll line up after.
Coach Pugh, got it. Coach Benjamin Pugh.
Which one are we doing?
Congratulations on the W. You've been part of several championship squads for varsity. How much more meaningful is this one to be at the helm for middle school?
Well, you know, last year with the team that we had 3 great players, and when we lost them and we had the results that we had last year and the guys that we had returning, I knew this year was going to be special. So, again, being at the helm and coaching it, it means a little bit more than, you know, the past ones I have meant. So, again, sorry, I'm a little nervous, but no, it means a great honor. These boys, like I said in my post this morning, they've worked so hard. We've given them so much. We've dished everything that we've got to get into these boys, and they've taken it in like varsity level, you know, competitors. And I can't be more proud of my 8th graders and the whole team. So, again, it's been awesome.
Well, the entire season you only had 14 points allowed defensively from that 7-0 run. Now 8-0 and only 20 points allowed in the championship. How did you guys hold the Falcons to 20 points?
Well, I got to give credit to our defensive coaches. They had a great scheme to come up with on halftime, and they really settled in and got the boys committed to what they were doing. And again, great job, Coach Colton Rawlins, Coach Dan Adams, defensive coaches. I mean, they made a lot happen in that second half, so I got to give them the honor for that. So FCA, like I told them in the huddle, totally different team than the first time we played them. They've got to be very proud for making it where they are. And again, holy cow, that first half, my knees were twitching. Now I'm nervous again, so my knees are twitching. But, again, great game. Great team over there.
How did the Gatorade feel after the game?
It was cold, except the bucket on the head didn't feel too good. But the water and the ice felt good. So I'm going to go get checked by the trainer, and then I should be fine.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Your 2019 middle school football champions, the Christian Community Colts. If we could get the all-conference players to the center of the field for a group photo. All-conference players, please.